I am shocked at how long this tour is and happy that it's like so empty. Guys, we're getting a private, basically a private tour. Wow. Welcome to Mammoth Cave, the actual entrance. Depending how I edit this, we're either starting here or you just watch me buy tickets. It is gorgeous. And it's so cold. It's like this whole thing's being blasted with air conditioning. It's that cold. The perks of being a big guy. Cold feels good. Would you look at that? And it's dark. Now, if you've seen any of my other caving videos, you know that the true excitement is the entrance and the exit because it gets super dark. I'm hoping that the S23 can shine here. Let me see. There you go. There you go. I just put you guys on cave mode. Sorry about that. So now that we're in cave mode, my camera's ready for low light conditions. So with that being said, enjoy the discovery tour of Mammoth Caves. This is me. And please be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks. Oh, it is so cold.
Thank you. Oh, wait, I know you.
Damn, you're that tall. That tall. Wow. I'm so cold, Mom. Anybody else see any back? I haven't seen any back. This looks like a zoo. Like there's animals right here.
So I guess some stuff does live down here. The eastern wood rat. That would be really cool to see one of those. You know, for a self-discovery tour, I hope it's not just like a giant tunnel. If you're watching this, I know, you're doing your research on Mammoth Cave. Now, I know that some of these other tours are phenomenal, but you have to literally make reservations. So if you're like me and you just saw the sign off the highway, this is what you get. That is so cool. Hand puppets. Okay, stop. This is amazing. This is like natural air conditioning. I am positive that there are definitely civilizations that live down here in the hot summer. So it looks like the cave is finally opening up. So it was like a tunnel that we took And it looks like ahead of me, we do have a cavern. So that's really exciting. I'm glad that it's not very full today. You know, we're really getting kind of almost a, you know, one of a kind tour, because you can, if you imagine how many people are upstairs right now, it's droves of people, but it's not packed down here, thankfully. To follow the beaten path. Feel free to pause it here and read it if you're interested in that. Oh, that's creepy. The baby crying in the cave, that makes a creepy sound. Oh, this is cool.
That was the machinery that they were using. And bleached the dirt with water, boiled the water down. The solids that were left was one of the key ingredients in black
Guano?
compound called saltpeter.
Nice. So they used to use this area to harvest the bat droppings?
So the bat droppings were in the dirt,
Okay.
and some bacteria and so forth, the nitrates from those, if you could extract those, then that was the key ingredient in black gunpowder called saltpeter.
Very cool.
So they would fill a box full of dirt, run water over it, steep it for about a week, cool the water off, boil it, and then the solids that were left in the bottom was the saltpeter. And then shovel the dirt out of the box, and that's where all the mounds of dirt come from around here.
I appreciate the history.
Yeah, from about 1809 to 1815.
When did they appreciate Mammoth Cave and decide that commercial operations are done? It's
About 1816 is when tourism started.
1816?
About 1816 is when the tourism industry started.
Of all the tours that are, which is the best tour?
The historic is the longest running tour that we've had.
The historic? So if you had to recommend, like you're coming to Mammoth Cave, you're doing one tour, it's the
One tour would be the historic.
historic.
And if I couldn't get on the historic, it would be the self-guided to see this big room with a big passageway.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
There you go. What a awesome piece of history right there. I mean, humans are always getting themselves into things, and the fact that we even were making gunpowder out of bat guano in the 1800s is wild. This is a massively beautiful room. And it's lit up enough that I could put on the wide lens. When we were in the tunnel, I had to have the 1X on all the time. I might have to put the 1X on a little further down. That's the entrance that you come out the air-conditioned tunnel. It's not really air-conditioned. It just, it's so cold and it's so strong that it feels like air conditioning. So let's see if we can turn night vision on and see what's going on this way. I am impressed with the night vision capabilities of this thing. And I could tell that, look at, this continues. And there's something on the other side. Huh. So here is the room in all of its grandioso. This is the Discovery Tour at Mammoth Cave. Now, I can't stress this enough. If you're watching this doing your research, you really have to make a reservation. I was here first thing in the morning and everything was already sold out. I almost felt like you could walk across this, but you can't. Gotta turn. Right here is, I guess this is the silt. So that operation that we were talking about, this is a really good view. Looks like they would dig up the ground, collect the bat droppings, and then pretty much start manufacturing it right here. It's amazing how it's made like a perfect circle, almost. Well, just a circle in general in this crack. You know, we're just a flash in the pan because eventually the ceiling's coming down. And it's just, you know, probably in a couple hundred of our lifetimes, but see all those cracks? It's just a matter of time. So this is the saltpeter, and this is how it works. Go ahead and stop the video here if this is something you're interested in. Try to zoom in on this. This is very cool. So the pump likely used a simple leather suction diaphragm connected to the pump handle by a long rod. Water collected from the entrance waterfall traveled by log pipe into the cave. Workers hollowed out tulip poplar logs to make pipelines. The lines from the entrance to the rotunda were buried. The liquid flowed into troves, and then a laborer pumped it into a holding tank atop a tower. From there, gravity drew it downwards back to the second tower of the entrance. Enslaved laborers gathered cave dirt from underground passages and dumped it in square wooden leaching vats. This operated from 1811 to 1814. So far, my favorite view.
So a big river cut this out, and that river set in vats.
The Great War Monument.
So all the mining that took place was simply the dirt. That river flows about 200 feet below the street. Yeah.
Hey guys. This self-guided tour is pretty cool. For $12, heck yeah. So if you're thinking of going to Mammoth Cave, we're doing it together, baby. The whole experience. Only thing I missed was parking, which is a pain. From dirt to gunpowder. Feel free to stop it there if that's your jam. Oh, is that a bench to just take it all in? I wonder what the view is to this bench. Okay, this wall. At least they got a bench. Be thankful for what you got, right? You know, I was going to come here a week ago with my kids, and they went to the Louisville Zoo. So they were super exhausted. So when I was like, come on, let's see Mammoth Cave, they were like, no, I don't want to, because they had just walked to the zoo the previous day. So when I came back up here, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go to Mammoth Cave. Because just like Disneyland, I waited till I took them before I went by myself, but not for Mammoth Cave. But I did give them the opportunity. Wonder if I should play music in the background or just let you enjoy the silence. Heck yeah. That dog's living on the wild side. I like it. Have a great day. I can't believe this continues. I really thought that big room back there was the end. Yeah, this tour rocks. I get 2 big rooms? Oh, what a value. Hey, do not enter. Alarm will sound. I doubt that for some reason. Evidence of exploration. Oh, of course the Indians live down here. This thing is AC'd at like 69. It's beautiful. I'd have a 2-3 down here. So it looks like we're leaving the nice concrete and entering the wild cave. Walking on a cave is different than walking on that nice sidewalk. Wow. This room coming up is gorgeous, and I can tell. Whoa, look at that. What a beautiful place. I am shocked at how long this tour is and happy that it's like so empty. Guys, we're getting basically a private tour by myself. Like, there were hundreds of people upstairs, but I guess they got into the tours they wanted to. Cave creation. Feel free to stop it here if that's your jam. So this was all carved out by rivers. Very, very cool. So all of this was just a giant flowing river with lots of water moving, just carving it out. I mean, the thing had to be massive. And this tour is great. If you've been watching the video, you heard me talk to the ranger earlier. Best tour is the historic tour. Second best tour is this one. Hey, that's not a bad consolation prize because I prefer to go at my own pace. And I always think it's awkward when I'm recording and there's like a group. So like I'm in the back trying to record and the tour guide is trying to awkwardly move us forward. Would you look at that?
Informative, but not aesthetically pleasing.
Connected. The sound of dripping water in the dark reminds us that Mammoth Cave is connected to the outside world. Water enters the cave through collapse areas and underground streams fed by sinking surface streams and sinkholes. It must be relatively dry because I saw upstairs, or on the surface, what looked like could have been a waterfall, but it was bone dry. Oh, wow. This is wicked. Guys, we're about to look at a massive wall. Is this Lookout Mountain? This site marks the end of the cave passage. If the large pile of rocks at the end were excavated away, you would see a small valley on the other side. Originally, this large section of the cave was much longer, but the weathering and erosion that formed the valley outside cut it into the body of the cave, resulting in the passageway's collapse. Wow, that's an impressive collapse. That's a super scary cave-in. Just wow. Would this be a good place to open a new entrance into Mammoth Cave? Definitely not. Creating man-made entrances significantly changes the way air flows throughout the cave and fundamentally alters the cave's fragile interior ecosystem. The rubble that blocks this passage has resulted from the breakdown of limestone and sandstone layers at the intersection with the valley. As the valley slowly deepens and widens through erosion and the passageway will continue to shorten as more collapse occurs. There's no need to worry though. It will likely take 1,000 years until the next breakdown. Oh, I called it when we walked in here. I said, this roof looks unstable AF. And they're like, oh yeah, it's because it's freaking caving in. So on the other side of that is a valley. Wow. That is really, really cool. Wow, that's beautiful. Hey, I had a quick question.
Ask away.
What would you say is the best tour if you only were to take one tour?
Historic tour. I would do the historic tour. That was you.
So the historic tour. And if the historic tour was sold out, what would be the second best?
Kind of depends on your level, what you want to do, but I
Okay.
always recommend domes and dripstones, but it can be
Domes and dripstones?
domes and dripstones.
Domes and dripstones.
Yes.
What's that about?
So you could go down a different portion of the Mammoth Cave. You're going to see a lot of different things. You're going to see cave formations at the end of it. It's also kind of a strenuous hike, so it's about 700 steps
Okay.
going on that tour. But it's pretty good. It's a pretty good one. So I would recommend those two if you can.
Very
Frozen
cool.
Niagara if you want to skip that section and just see the cave formations. So Frozen Niagara tour.
I appreciate it.
Oh
Thank
yeah, no
you.
problem. Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you.
So drips and sandstone sounds cool. Drips and domes. That sounds super cool. But like I said at the beginning of the video, you have to make a reservation.
Alright, let's head down.
Okay.
Look at how cool that is. So, subterranean sabotage. Feel free to stop the video here if that's your jam. A little close up on this. In the mushroom caves near Paris, France, yields of the common white mushroom could reach hundreds of pounds per day. The Mammoth Cave Mushroom Company hoped for such returns here. Ah. So they tried to open a mushroom operation, mushroom grow operation. These guys are some hippies. And you got yourself a nice bench to look back and appreciate the little walk you just did. I think now's a good time to take an intermission. go grab a snack, drink some water. All right, we're back. So this is actually a pretty cool mystery. I guess they tried to open a mushroom company here, and that's where the operation was for the mushroom company. And it was sabotaged. And they don't know who sabotaged it, but it defrauded investors, and the company failed before it even had its first harvest. Very cool story. You know, the plaques are definitely worth it. So if you're still with me, we're 30 minutes into this video, and I just made it to the end point while reading every single plaque, and I like to think smelling every flower. So I think it's realistic that if you would do the Discovery Tour, expect to spend about an hour to an hour and a half. Now, driving in off the highway is about 20 minutes. What a cool view. So this is actually a pretty cool mystery. I guess they tried to open a mushroom company here, and that's where the operation was for the mushroom company. And it was sabotaged. And they don't know who sabotaged it, but it defrauded investors, and the company failed before it even had its first harvest. Very cool story. You know, the plaques are definitely worth it. So if you're still with me, we're 30 minutes into this video, and I just made it to the end point while reading every single plaque, and I like to think smelling every flower. So I think it's realistic that if you would do the Discovery Tour, expect to spend about an hour to an hour and a half. Now, driving in off the highway is about 20 minutes. What a cool view. Now, for a conclusion to a cave tour, I think this is a pretty cool cavern. Like I said in the first part, you know, very fortunate to have basically a private tour for the first half of this video. You'll notice that it was pretty much just us walking around. But it's getting like 11 o'clock. People are starting to show up. And I can tell that this is going to be packed. Like, there's going to be a time, probably like in the next hour, where there's going to be lines of people waiting to read plaques, or just a lot of other humans. So if you get here at around 10 a.m. like I did, you're going to have a relatively private tour.
What? I think that people don't.
So I'm glad that you're getting to see both sides of this. You get to see I got here early, and it's just pretty much me walking around. And then you also get to see the crowds beginning to show up. And I'm sure a lot of people do this tour in between their established tours. So far, the historic tour comes highly recommended. And so does the Drips and Domes tour. However, I'd have to agree with the first ranger that this is actually a pretty awesome tour. If for any reason you skip to the middle of the video, I read every plaque at the front end of the video. Are there people coming out of that tour? What a time to be alive, guys. We caught the tour coming out. Super cool. Very, very cool. I knew there was something down there. So I guess some of the tours, you have to enter this cave anyway to do the tour. Was that the dome tour?
This
Dome and
was
drip?
this is essentially a historic tour, but this is an educational group.
Okay.
So they're kind of doing something different than the regular tours.
Very cool. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
All right, we'll let this kids group pass by and then we'll re-record. So, kind of like I stated earlier in the video, the earlier you get to Mammoth Cave, the less humans. But humans are cool, don't get me wrong, but if you're trying to come here and, you know, have some peace and quiet or at your own pace, I suggest really early in the morning, like first thing. Because that's basically what I did, and that's basically how we got the last tour. But look at this. This is so cool. I wish my kids could do field trips like this. Wow, look at that. It does. I still feel like it looks like it can come down at any moment, but it's very impressive. In fact, I'd say this is the most impressive way to really appreciate this room. You see, look at the badonk-a-donk on that ceiling. Wow. There you go. Just absolutely gorgeous. Yo, look at the badonkadonk on this cave. Holy cow. Does that ceiling look stable to you? Yeah. Such a thick boy. But not a very stable ceiling. Had to give some time, let the kids pass. I really enjoyed this discovery tour. When that school group came out of the historical tour, I could tell that's a cool tour. They were in some tight caverns. This is all really open. I think that historic tour takes you into some more claustrophobic situations, which is super cool. All right, my dudes. I stopped and took a little bit of a break. So I guess we stopped and took a little bit of a break. So we're about halfway back through the tour. Overall, for $12, this is badass. Do not skip this. And even if you got another tour, this isn't very bad. You know, knock this out in an hour, and it's well worth it. This is a very cool display that they have here. This is veterans, and it's a great war monument from different veteran groups of the American Legion. And here we enter the AC tunnel as we head back. I hope you've enjoyed this tour. I hope if you're doing your research that you took some of the advice. As always, it's been my pleasure to have you come along with me. We have one more good view left in us, and that's going to be the exit. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And when you get to Mammoth Cave, I hope you have a great time. Now, if you're never coming to Mammoth Cave and you're doing this tour with me just to know what it's like, thanks. Because that's kind of why I make these. Either way, I'm appreciative of you. It's like a air vent. You can hear water moving down there too.
I made this giant. No, and then also vegetables.
It's gonna be so weird leaving this ice box and going back up. It's gonna be cool though. It's been a while. It's been a while, my dudes. It's been a while since I made a video like this. You know, I don't know if it's gonna be that great, but man, it feels good because it was never about the views or the likes. It was about getting out there and experiencing it. And if this is something I had to tell myself, you know, record it, you can do it again later, you know, relive the moment with yourself. That motivates me sometimes. And it makes me feel really good if it benefits someone else. All right, we're getting to the exit. Can you see the sunlight? Oh, looks beautiful. Oh, wow. Oh, the breeze is so good. It literally will not get better than that. Well, guys, we did it. Mammoth Cave Discovery Tour. Well worth it. If you can get a history tour, fantastic. But this will do. This is phenomenal. One part left. So there's a bat disease that, if it leaves this cave, can hurt other bats. So you have to step on this, apparently. Apparently, stepping on this, saving some bat lives. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. That concludes the tour, the Discovery Tour here at Mammoth Caves. Yeah, yeah. The road trip continues. We're here in Nashville, Tennessee. Gonna get some Hattie B's hot chicken, finest hot chicken in the city. And then make our way to old Alabama. Thank you for joining me on this road trip through the center of the country. Oh, it's been a doozy. It's been a doozy, guys. Man, and I did all this driving in a week, from Monday to Friday. This is the life of a sales manager. Oh, hey, but thanks for hanging out. You guys are mad cool for that. We did a cave tour. Can't wait to edit and get that up. And Nashville's a great city. All right, be safe.
And this is the first call, 5-minute warning for the 11 o'clock Golden States Tour meeting right now at Shelter Meeting.
Welcome to Mammoth Cave State Park in Kentucky. I got here at 10 in the morning. All of the cave tours were sold out except for the accessible and Mammoth Passage and crawling, introduction to caving, which sounds badass, but they have a self-guided tour. So that's what we're gonna do. Cave tour departures. Hey, appreciate you, man.
Thanks.
This is at 10 in the morning and I couldn't even find a parking spot. So, plan accordingly. The self-guided tour enters through the historic entrance. I remember that much. So on our way to the entrance of the historic tour. It's a very beautiful, beautiful place. And I can't believe everything was sold out so quick. Look at that. It's like a museum or something up there. A roof over the cave. Go ahead and pause the video here if that's important to you.
We also ask that you just, in general, don't touch the cave or the historical artifacts you'll see today. So that means, surfaces like ceilings and walls, any historical wooden stuff, artifacts inside the trails. It's going to be the same rules.
I need to do my junior age.
Cave rocks are sensitive to the oils we all have in our skin, and old historical stuff is really fresh. So keep your hands off, appreciate from the distance when you're down there today. Final rule is about photos. You can take pictures inside of anything you like, but we ask that you turn your camera flash full. It's a low light environment down there, about like your average movie theater level of lighting, and that's for a good reason. We have animals who will use cave who are sensitive to bright lights, things like bats and stuff like that. And after about 5 minutes down there, you will also be sensitive to bright lights when your eyes adjust. So for the sake of everyone else in the cave and all of the animals down there, no flash on the tour out here today. You guys serve the self-guided tour? Yeah. This is our roll stop, so hang on for a second.
Oh, no, sorry. I thought it was part of the tour.
No worries. Otherwise, let's see. That's all for the rules. A little bit about the tour today. It's 3/4 of a mile in and out. You'll return to this entrance once you're done. When you leave, we'll have you walk over the mats like these guys are doing here. That's to clean your shoes off with a bit of soap and water. Make sure you don't take a bat disease known as white nose syndrome from our cave with you when you leave. This will not hurt you guys, but it has killed a lot of bats here in our cave for the last 10 years. So that'll make sure you don't carry it to anywhere else you may visit in the future. Finally, there will be rangers stationed along the route here today. Ask us any questions you have, and we'll be happy to talk to you and answer anything you'd like to know more about. So for you guys, I've already seen your tickets. You're good to go. Have fun. For everyone else, they click you in. Okay, 1.
4 of us?
Yeah. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think you're good smart. You kept that on. You feel the cold air on?
Oh, wow. This is like an air-conditioned cave or something? What's going on? It is insanely cold coming out of this cave. Wow, 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 wow.
Maybe that's
That
the
is
jumping
beautiful.
spider that was not